Today's video was suggested by Enigma Reed on Twitter, who asked me to cover all of the characters played by Warwick Davis. I thought that sounded like a great way to celebrate a man who means so much to all of us and who will also be our host at Star Wars Celebration in just a couple days. So let's kick it all off with the character he's probably most well known for, Wicket Wystri Warwick from Return of the Jedi and both made-for-TV Ewok movies. He was the very first Ewok we ever met in the Star Wars universe, befriending Leia and leading her to his home in Bright Tree Village. He joined the fight against the Empire in the Battle of Endor and joined a rebel strike team after the Emperor's death. Before Leia left his company, he gifted her an acorn that she planted and used in her Force meditation exercises. The two made-for-TV movies, Caravan of Courage and Battle for Endor, are both considered to be legends at this point, but Mr. Davis still played Wicket, so I want to cover those adventures too. He and a number of other Ewoks befriended the two Tawani children who had crash-landed on Endor. Together they rescued the Tawani parents from a giant Gorax who had captured them. Unfortunately, most of the family was killed soon after in a Sannyasin marauder attack. Wicket helped Sindel, the surviving girl, and a hermit named Noah defeat the Marauders. The two humans left Endor shortly after. The Battle for Endor was released in 1985, so let's jump forward 14 years to the prequel era, where Warwick played two characters in The Phantom Menace. Wald was a Rhodian slave and friend of Anakin Skywalker. At the age of 6 years old, he was part of Anakin's pit crew during the Boonta Eve Classic. He and Kitster have become infamous for their botched high-five attempt. But Warwick also played a criminal named Weasel who worked for the Hutt clans in the exact same sequence. He can be seen in multiple shots watching the pod race. There's more to his story, but I'll return to him later. I was actually surprised to realize there are no Warwick Davis characters in Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith, but he returned in The Force Awakens to play Wolavan, seen very briefly in Maz Kanata's castle. His character was a male Blurina that worked as an interstellar scout and hyperspace trailblazer, and that's all we know about him. Moving on to Rogue One, and after Wicket probably my favorite Warwick character, we have a member of Saw Gerrera's partisans, Weeteef Kyubi. A Peeny Alien, he was a sniper that also specialized in explosives and sticky bombs. We currently don't know whether or not he survived the destruction of Jedha, but I hope he's still out there somewhere. Davis's next role would be in the animated series Star Wars Rebels, the Noghri bodyguard of Grand Admiral Thrawn, Rook. He was known to be an excellent tracker and assassin, proving to be a formidable opponent to the Lothal rebel cell. He was killed during the liberation of the planet, electrocuted to death fighting inside the Imperial complex. Moving on to The Last Jedi, Warwick again played multiple characters. The first can be seen in the Canto Bight Casino, a gambling swearton named Wodibin. The short stories from the Canto Bight book tell us that he and his brothers had a mysterious ability to affect probability, and they often won any game they took part in. The other appearance can only be found in deleted scenes, a spa-goer named Kedpin Shaklop. He was on Canto Bight after winning Sales Being of the Year for his company. He was naive and had a lovable personality, and I would highly recommend reading his short story also from the Canto Bight book. And finally, we move on to two more characters from Solo, A Star Wars Story. DD-BD was an admin mech droid seen being freed by L337, going on to spark the droid revolt. But Davis also played Weasel again, his first recurring character since the Ewok movies. In the 22 years between The Phantom Menace and Solo, Weasel left his life as a thief to become a marauder. He was still pretty much a thief, but this time it was for a noble cause, fighting the Empire and the criminal syndicates that plagued the galaxy. I doubt we've seen the last of him. And it's very likely this list will need updating after Episode 9, but as we near Star Wars Celebration, I wanted to celebrate our host, who is just as passionate about Star Wars as the rest of us. And while I'm talking about him, go watch Willow if you've never seen it. It's a Lucasfilm production, directed by Ron Howard. It just came out on Blu-ray, and it's so much fun. But that's it for today. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.